I really enjoyed my time at school. Lunchtime football clashes would be one of the greatest moments. But during the build-up, there would always be a moment that would make me a nervous wreck. Two captains picking teams. Justin, Julian, Dean. All right, Curtis, you're on our side. One of my greatest goals was not to be picked last. Our verse today is taken from Luke 9 verse 48, where Jesus is responding to hearing the disciples argue who among them is the greatest. He responds by saying, "For it is the one who is the least among you all who is the greatest." Nobody wants to be picked last, but Jesus is challenging the disciples' worldview by revealing a unique characteristic about the kingdom of God. Now, this characteristic is totally opposite to the world that we live in today. For us, the greatest can be seen as the politician with the most votes, the sports star in the Hall of Fame, the businessman or woman on the Sunday Times rich list. These are the ones who are considered the greatest. For the disciples, it seemed that their ministry had gone to their head and they were seeing some tasks as below them. Whoever welcomes this child, Jesus says, the child representing the weak, the vulnerable in society, would be seen to be welcoming Jesus and his Father. Whoever was willing to humble themselves and welcome those who were being rejected by others would be seen as great. It's not an easy thing to do, to humble ourselves, to think of yourself as below others. But Jesus gives us a great example. In Philippians 2 verse 6, we hear that although equal to God, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant. He washed the disciples' feet. He even died on a cross. He encourages us to do the same. So when the next request comes in, to volunteer for children's ministry, for cleaning, to serve tea and coffee, to welcome others, let's have hope that when we're doing it, we are welcoming Jesus. So let's put aside our job titles and our expectations of ourselves. And I'm reminded of the prophet in Isaiah 6 verse 8. Whom shall I send? Who will go for us? God says. Pick me. Are you with me?